Are you looking for all the latest pro football news and content? Of course you are. Who doesn't love football? The question is, how do you get all the latest pro football news and content? There's so many different pro football podcasts on the internet. Which one do you choose? Which one is the right fit for you? Well, you go with the Cross the Middle Show, one of the fastest growing football podcasts out right now. Over the past year, we've climbed the Spotify rankings and become a show you have to listen to if you're a football fan. Find out the Ravens will go all the way with Odell Beckham Jr., find out the Eagles did enough to make it back to the Super Bowl. You'll get all of our best stories for just $1 per month. All you have to do is sign up by clicking the link in the episode description box. It's John Kuzma. This is the Cross the Middle Show, the place for all the latest pro football news and action. We're going to talk a little bit about Jordan Addison. We'll also talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. So let's start with the Jordan Addison story. Jordan Addison. I don't know if you guys know who Jordan Addison is. He's a rookie wide receiver for the Vikings, and he's been showing some promising signs early on at training camp. Jordan Addison is a player that is a great route runner. He's so shifty. He's so good in and out of his breaks when it comes to his routes that, he's going to provide something special for this Vikings offense. Remember, Adam Thielen left for the Panthers. Jordan Addison kind of steps into Adam Thielen's old role with this team. And the one thing that Jordan Addison's going to do really well is, like I said, he's faster. He's going to bring some speed to this offense. So quick in and out of his breaks. Great route runner. Almost reminds me a little bit of Calvin Ridley. Just that speed and that quickness in terms of, getting in and out of the routes. Being able to set things up like it's going to look one route one way and doing the exact opposite. Those are the things Jordan Addison does well. He's going to get separation. He's going to make a lot of catches. And like I said, the offense as a whole, collectively for the Vikings, is going to be much faster. You got Justin Jefferson, who's still a young player. You got Jordan Addison. You got these young wide receivers that are going to pump some life back into this offense. Not that, Adam Thielen was a bad player. He wasn't. We all know he wasn't. He was actually a very good player. I just think Jordan Addison's going to be a little bit faster than Adam Thielen was. I think in some ways it'll make this offense a little bit tougher to defend. Now, when it comes to frame, Adam Thielen has a better frame than Jordan Addison. He's more filled out, which made Adam Thielen a great threat in the red zone. That's why he had all those touchdowns throughout the years. Well, Jordan Addison is going to be able to do, the yak, the yards after the catch, make the catch, break free, and then turn it into a track meet. Jordan Addison's going to, shake some of these defenders out of their shoes. He's going to do a good job of just getting separation and, opening some things up for the Vikings offense. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be looking his way often. I think with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that tandem is going to be very tough to defend. I'm excited to see whether they can be better than they were with Jefferson and Thielen, because really that's the mark for this team, because Jefferson and Thielen was a really good wide receiver tandem. Now, can Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson be better than that? I don't know. I do like that they're both young wide receivers. I do like that, their best years are still ahead of them. Not that Adam Thielen is done yet. He's down there with the Panthers, but, he's getting a little bit older, and we know, the wide receiver position, you have to be able to run a little bit. Jordan Addison can run. He can get separation. He can sell his routes really well and make you think he's doing the exact opposite of what he's actually doing. He has a nice catch radius. If he catches a slant, he can break free and turn it into a big gain. So that speed is big in the sport of football. It is, because it creates opportunities that might not be there with some other wide receivers. If a wide receiver can't turn and get upfield, that's an element that is missing to their game a little bit. And Adam Thielen was more, the big target in the red zone, a possession receiver. Still, Jordan Addison has the speed. He's going to get separation. He's going to turn and get upfield. It's going to be tough for people to stay on his hip because he is quicker. Then you have Justin Jefferson, who's, making a case to be the best wide receiver in the NFL on the opposite side of the field. We all know what Justin Jefferson brings to the table. He just dominates in every phase of the game. So good on those lethal crossing routes that he always, ends up being wide open on. He can turn and get upfield and get off to the races too. So we have two wide receivers that are capable of turning, getting upfield, and breaking off a lot of yak yards. So the plays after the catch, I think that's really what we have to focus on. The plays after the catch are what are going to jump out at you, because these guys are going to turn games into a track meet. They're going to get off to the races. It's going to be spectacular to watch. I think there's going to be something there that's going to be exciting for the Vikings fans because of how explosive they can be on the offense. Kirk Cousins has the weapons. Kirk's got to be the best version of himself because he's got these guys out wide that are really bringing it. So there's no excuses for Kirk Cousins. He's got to deliver the football, get it out to his playmakers, make sure that, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are, doing their thing out there on the perimeter, because they're more than capable of coming up big for this team and for this offense. All they need is the quarterback to, get them the ball in space. They'll do the rest because they're supremely talented. It's gonna be a show. Get ready to tune into the Vikings offense because, they have some playmakers on that offense that are gonna put on a show. The other story we have today, is the Jahmyr Gibbs story. So Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs. This guy is a little bit of Alvin Kamara, probably a little bit faster than Alvin Kamara. I think Kamara is a little bit stronger than Gibbs is, but some similarities there. Where Jahmyr Gibbs is really going to excel at is being a wide receiver out of the backfield. Now, he's actually a running back, but I'm saying being a wide receiver out of the backfield because when you have a running back that makes catches out of the backfield, they're almost like another wide receiver on the field. That's what you can anticipate from Jahmyr Gibbs. That's going to be his game. He's going to, flare out of the backfield, catch, halfback swing passes, and turn those plays into big gains. That's what he's going to do. Screen plays, swing passes, motion out of the backfield, and line up as another wide receiver. I think he's been lining up at wide receiver a lot too. So he's kind of a hybrid player. He's a hybrid between a wide receiver and a running back. He's technically a running back, but he's just so good at catching the ball out of the backfield. He's almost like another wide receiver on the field. And then his speed, his speed creates matchup problems because what do? You stick a linebacker out on him, that linebacker's toast. They don't stand a chance. I mean, the gap and the amount that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to pull away if you stick a linebacker on him is going to be huge. I mean, they're not going to be able to match up with him at all just because he's too fast. It's going to add something very dynamic to the Lions offense because, this Lions offense is explosive, and you add this running back that is basically a pass-catching threat no matter where he lines up at, no matter what route he runs. He's a weapon coming out of that backfield that is just chopping teams up, and someone that, as a defense, you have to account for. You have to account for Jahmyr Gibbs because if you have a slow linebacker on him, well, then that halfback fade, that halfback wheel route, whatever you want to call it, that's a touchdown because, he gets out to that edge towards the sideline. He's pulling away from that linebacker so much, he's going to be wide open. And, these defensive backs are so caught up on their own responsibility, the receiver they're covering, the tight end they're covering, whoever it may be, that they don't have time to really do their job and also do that linebacker's job too. They're flowing in the direction that their wide receiver is going, And then in the opposite direction, Jahmyr Gibbs is one-on-one with the linebacker, toasting him on a halfback fade route for a touchdown. Halfback wheel route for a touchdown. That's going to be a weapon in this offense for the Lions, because if that receiver, let's say you have trips to the left, you have the running back on the right side of the quarterback, and you have one wide receiver out to the right. Well, that wide receiver out to the right runs a slant, and then Jahmyr Gibbs runs a wheel route behind that slant. Okay, the flow of the play, that corner on the right side of the field, on the offense's right side of the field, is flowing with that slant to the left, which means he's basically out of that area. Now a linebacker's trying to cover Jahmyr Gibbs on a wheel route when all the flow of the play is going to the left. Now it's a one-on-one matchup. There's no chance, and it's a touchdown for Jahmyr Gibbs, because that linebacker is just outgunned speed-wise. You know, he's not able to keep up with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's not going to happen just because Jahmyr Gibbs is basically a track star. And that linebacker is a run stopper that's used to plugging holes. Now he's asked, because of the defense, to cover Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, teams are going to be forced to play nickel just to account for Gibbs, you know, just because they need to get another defensive back on the field. You know, if they run a man situation, they have a nickel back on Gibbs. Well, then that makes them vulnerable against the run, because there's openings in the running game now, and there's some running lanes that are opening up. So you can see how it becomes like this cat and mouse game, because these defenses are trying to get the right matchup, and no matter what they do, there's a counter for that with the Lions offense. There's a way for them to, you know, counter it and take advantage of what the defense is doing. It almost reminds me of, remember White for the Patriots? You know, White, the running back they had there, how versatile he was out of the backfield. That's what it almost reminds me of with Jahmyr Gibbs. The things that White used to do for the Patriots. I'm drawing a blank on his first name. But Jahmyr Gibbs almost reminds me of that type of player, where he's just so versatile and can do so many things out of the backfield, where you can't stop it. You know, it's just another factor to that offense that, you know, is something that, yeah, you even if you account for it, you're outgunned, because the guy is so athletic and such a weapon for the offense that he's going to end up winning. Yeah, get ready for that with the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy that's running like the wind, a guy that is doing so many things, lined up all over the field for the Lions, a guy that out of the backfield is basically another wide receiver, even though he's technically a running back. Swing passes, halfback wheel routes, halfback fades, screens. He can run an angle route over the middle. I mean, just a simple checkdowns out of the backfield. You know, Jared Goff scanning downfield. The defense is dropping back. Nothing there. Dump it off to Jahmyr Gibbs and let him get 7 or 8 yards and get you in a favorable second and short, third and short. You know, give him better down and distances to this Lions offense. He doesn't have to be a running back that pounds away at teams either. They have David Montgomery, so they can let David Montgomery do some of the dirty work, keep Jahmyr Gibbs fresh, let him be a playmaker out in space. That's what he does best. Let him use his speed and be, like I said, a track star. All those things are going to tilt things in the Lions' favor a little bit, because you're not going to be able to defend this guy. It's not going to happen. He's too fast. He runs like the wind. You can't stride for stride with the guy. Man, it's going to be exciting to watch. I'm excited to see the Lions offense. I mean, when have the Lions really had this exciting of an offense? You know, last year they really had their breakthrough year. They've added some pieces to the puzzle, but they've never really had this exciting of an offense. I mean, there's something there. And you add Jahmyr Gibbs to the mix. I mean, that's where we're at. That's why the Lions are looking so promising on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they have a chance to be a top 5 offense in this league. We're going to see them opening night against the Chiefs. Keep an eye on Jahmyr Gibbs because he could be a big, big factor in that game. I'm John Kuzma. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sign up for just $1 per month by clicking the link in the episode description box. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Cross the Middle Show.